Hey everyone, welcome back to 3D Questions from Steamspirations, where our goal is to help students and teachers master state assessments. I'm Mr. Lara, here to help you make learning easier. Today we're tackling an intriguing science experiment that explores the concept of density. But before we jump in, if you need a quick refresher on density, feel free to click the link at the top right corner of your screen. Now let's unpack our challenge for the day. Our experiment involves students pouring water and cooking oil into a beaker, then adding a penny, a plastic paper clip, and a cork. Their observations were carefully noted. Water formed a layer with oil floating above it. The penny sank all the way to the bottom of the beaker. Positioned between the water and oil, the plastic paper clip remained afloat on the water but below the oil. Floating at the very top of the beaker was the cork. Based on these observations, we're tasked with determining which list correctly orders the items from most dense to least dense. To tackle this problem effectively, we're going to employ a fresh strategy we call FLOAT, an acronym that stands for Find, List, Observe, Analyze, and Test. Let's break it down. F stands for Find. First, identify the materials involved in our experiment: water, cooking oil, a penny, a plastic paper clip, and a cork. L stands for List. List the observations made during the experiment, focusing on the position of each material in the beaker. O is Observe. Pay close attention to where each material settled or floated. This gives us clues about their relative densities. A is Analyze. Analyze the data to understand the concept of density. Remember, density determines whether an object will float or sink. The denser an object is compared to the fluid, the more likely it is to sink. T stands for Test. Finally, test your understanding by drawing a picture of the item from most dense to least dense based on our analysis. So let's apply our float strategy to our answer choices to guide us in identifying the items listed in order from most dense to least dense. Let's begin with option A: cork, oil, plastic paper clip, water, then penny. So ask yourself, did the cork which floated above all seem to be the most dense or the least dense? Items with the highest density in the fluid sink to the very bottom. Now let's look at option B: water, penny, oil, plastic paper clip, and cork. Consider where the penny ended up. Does it make sense for it to be less dense than water? Which of all the items was the most dense? Option C: penny, water, plastic paper clip, oil, cork. The penny sank to the bottom. What does that tell us about its density compared to other items? The cork floated to the top. What does that tell us about the density of the cork? Option D: oil, penny, cork, plastic paper clip, and water. Remember, the oil floated on top of the water. What does this imply about its density relative to water? Again, the penny sank to the very bottom. What does that tell us about its density in comparison to the oil? As we walk through these options, think about the principles of density. Objects that are more dense in the liquid sink, while those that are less dense float. From the observations made, the penny sank to the very bottom and the cork floated to the very top, indicating which of the objects was the most dense and which one was the least dense. So go ahead and write down your thoughts and choices in your workbooks, and let's discuss in the comments below. This is a great opportunity to deepen our understanding of density and its effects. Let's float through this problem together, young scientists.